Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We ready, y'all. We ready. DBN Live. It's going down like a plane crash, y'all. It's about to go down. We got a whole lot to talk about. Anthony Joshua. Does he fight against Wilder next? Or does he fight against Dillian Whyte? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Wilder versus Fury and that unbelievable undercard. Keith Thurman versus Zab Judah. Jamel Charlo versus Floyd Mayweather. We're going to talk about it all, y'all. We're going to talk about it all. We got a whole lot to talk about. And whatever you guys want to talk about, you guys just go ahead and call us up. The number will be on the screen, all right? Yes, sir, y'all. It's going down all day. Everybody, y'all can show that love, man. If you like what we doing, man, hit that like button. Make sure you show that love in the comment section. I appreciate y'all. DBN, hashtag new media. Let's get it, y'all. Yep. Another one, y'all. My man said, welcome back, brother. 562 in the building. You know what it is, Long Beach. Deontay out there in my city repping. Yes, sir. DBN, man. You guys already know what it is, man. Already know. Once again, we got a whole lot to talk about. Anthony Joshua. Does he fight Wilder next? Does he fight Dillian Whyte next? Who is Keith Thurman going to return against? There's talks of him fighting against Zab Judah. We're going to talk about all of that, man. We're going to talk about all of that, man. My man Reggie already showing love in the super chat section with a donation. I appreciate you, man. He said, we need another 5-hour show, my brother. Always tuning in from Las Vegas. Decaf's call in. You know what it is, Reggie. I don't know if we're going to do a 5-hour one tonight. We might do a short one tonight because I'm starting late. And I know everybody is up late right now, especially over there on the East Coast. So we're going to go ahead and get it started, y'all. Let's go ahead and get this started. And let me tell you something right now. If you guys are looking for the best fragrance products in the world, you need to go to ashkickin.com. That is ashkickin.com. Keep your home smelling fresh and clean with Ash Kickin fragrance products. Treat your skin and hair with Ash Kickin all-natural health and beauty products. Everything you need to create a comfortable home living environment and create a comfortable space for entertaining. The best incense burners in the world, home fragrance products, and health and beauty products, go to ashkickin.com.
Brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
Hey yo, check this out. This is Flavor Flav, and if you want the whole truth and nothing but the whole truth, so help the whole truth. Hey yo, you better listen to Deontay, baby. Deontay!
What's going on, y'all? And welcome to another great edition of the Dante's Boxing Nation Show. I am your host, Dante, and we got a whole lot to talk about, as always. Another one, y'all. But first things first, let me go ahead and introduce the one panelist that I do have tonight. This man, you guys can subscribe to the channel that he works for, which is AB Boxing News. My man Gustavo is on the horn with me. What's going on, Gustavo?
Hey, what's going on, Dante? Thank you for having me in your show, brother.
All day, man. All day, man. And you save me some more of that pizza when I come out there to BK, man. All day.
Oh, man, gotta put that in the food channel, bro. You already know.
Dante's Cooking Nation, man. Yeah, you're going to be on there. I'm going to have everybody on there, man. So that's what it is, man.
Hey, man.
Yep.
Anything to support the fam out here, man. You already know. All the way on the East Coast.
All the way on the East Coast, man. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's jump right into everything. We had a good fight. We had a pretty good fight this weekend. And once again, I will say, these are the type of fights that this is the reason why we love boxing. Fights like this, where to me, I thought that Anthony Joshua was completely losing that fight. And I already had started to make my video talking about him losing the fight. And then all of a sudden he pulls it off at the last minute. So I thought, that was pretty entertaining, if you will. But I don't believe, Gustavo, I don't believe he looks the same since the Carlos Takam fight. How did you see that fight?
I agree with you. I think Alexander Povetkin was doing well. I think he was winning the fight, but we gotta we got to understand that the heavyweight division, we as fans and boxing professionals that we are, we tend to be very critical with the heavyweight division. So just on yesterday's performance with Anthony Joshua, I think all the fans are very. I think we were pleased because he actually knocked the guy down. I like the previous fights with the Joseph Parker, as you mentioned, Carlos Takam, like he won, but it wasn't very spectacular. I think people were losing respect towards Joshua's ability of knocking people out. Like, me as a fan don't want to see a technical boxing heavyweight, like a heavyweight battle. I want to see the knockout, That's what makes the heavyweight division so different to any other divisions, So it was a really great fight, and I think this just proves that Anthony Joshua is an elite level, and he deserves where he deserves to be, one of the tops at the moment.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. He definitely deserves to be at the top. I just, once again, to me, I just feel, well, you know what, I ain't going to even talk about that fight right now. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about what Tyson Fury, what he had to say about the fight. He basically said that he was a bum. He said that Anthony Joshua was a bum, and he said there's no way that Anthony Joshua will fight him next. So I thought that was pretty interesting that he said that. And what I noticed, man, this is what I'm really noticing. I'm noticing, and I predicted this, Gustavo, a long time ago. I predicted the fact that eventually, a lot of fans will get restless, and they would even start to put pressure. The UK fans, they would start to put pressure on Anthony Joshua to take the Deontay Wilder fight. And if you notice, Gustavo, Anthony Joshua, he said at the end of the fight, he said, I'm going to let the fans decide. He said fans could decide my April foe, right? And when he said, as soon as he said that, the crowd, they just all start chanting Deontay Wilder. I mean, I'm wondering, did that even catch Anthony Joshua by surprise when his fans, they started demanding this fight? Because to me, it's obvious that this is the only fight that the boxing world, including the UK, they want to see. So, did that surprise you that they said that, Gustavo? They start chanting Wilder's name?
Not really surprised. You got to think about it. These two fighters bring two different elements to the game. And you mentioned about Tyson Fury. No, I'm not trying to disrespect Tyson Fury. I think he's a great fighter. He has the superb boxing skills. But if I was to watch Fury versus Joshua, I might as well just watch Vladimir Klitschko versus Tyson Fury, which was lackluster. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, it's the best fight you can make. You got two guys that come forward, they knock each other out, and we're gonna see the best of both fighters because what's Deontay Wilder's strength are Anthony Joshua's weakness. So we want to see it. We want to see it all go down. And with the UK fans, they're very passionate. They're very, very passionate. So eventually, when you see that the UK fans are starting to support a US fighter, not to say they support it, not support Deontay Wilder, but just to support the fight and demand the fight, eventually Anthony Joshua has to respond. It's going to be like Amir Khan. He's from he was raised in the UK. People are demanding the fight with Kell Brook for so long now. But I don't even think that's going to happen either, brother.
Yeah, I don't think, and honestly, it doesn't matter if it happens now. And I mean, it was far more relevant, before, but now since they're both close to the end of their career, I don't think it's as important. It'll still be entertaining, but it doesn't matter if it happens. But I think in this case with Anthony Joshua, if Wilder goes in there and he knocks out Fury, even more pressure is going to be put on Anthony Joshua. And then I truly believe that no one is going to be defending him anymore. It's going to be very, very difficult to justify him not taking a Wilder fight, if Wilder knocks out Fury. So that's basically how I see it. But with that being said, Gustavo, I want to let everybody know once again, you guys can call in if you got any thoughts on what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff tonight. We've been talking about Anthony Joshua. Go ahead, Gustavo.
I don't know if you heard, but one of the interviews, Eddie Hearn was saying that he was going to try to negotiate with Shelly Finkel about having the fight in April. But I think it's the wrong approach because, Deontay Wilder has a big fight, December 1st, with Fury. And I'm pretty sure Deontay Wilder doesn't want to have distractions with the Joshua fight. Mm-hmm. He's talking about how he's going to give him a better deal if he beats Fury. I just think it's the wrong approach. You can't demand somebody that already has a fight, to negotiate another fight because Fury's not a bum. He's not a Class B fighter. He's not a Class B fighter. He's a Class A fighter. He's he's a respectable fighter. So it's just not gonna happen, to be honest. It's just unfortunate. And even when I was talking to you before, like, I'm just curious about the pay-per-view buys that Fury and Wilder is gonna do, because this is the first time Wilder is gonna be headline as on pay-per-view, and I'm just wondering how is he gonna do as that pay-per-view star, in this new era of the heavyweight division.
And that's a good question, Gustavo. I mean, I don't see it, cracking $1 million or anything like that. We know any fighter's first pay-per-view, if you can get around 400,000, 500,000, I think that would be a good look, at least for the very, very first pay-per-view, but who knows, man? I mean, with the UK, because I really don't know how that works when it comes to, because I guess it's going to be the pay-per-view numbers only in America. They're obviously not going to include the UK. So I don't really know. I don't really know how that's going to look. I mean, they're going to really have to promote the hell out of it. But there's no doubt about it. With characters and personalities like Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, I think they're going to do a very good job promoting the fight. So
the scary part is if the pay-per-view numbers aren't that well, Eddie Hearn might just find another way to be like, hey, you didn't do so well, so I'm gonna lowball you with this offer, take it or leave it. So it's just so many elements.
Yeah, but see,
going into the fight.
But
it's not gonna happen.
But I'm gonna say this though, Goo. If Eddie Hearn says that's gonna backfire on them. I'm telling you, man. I mean, I don't care. Honestly, it wouldn't matter if it was like 100,000. If they did less than Golovkin versus Lemieux, it wouldn't change the fact that the heavyweight champion of the world or the other heavyweight champion of the world is calling out the other heavyweight champion. Once Wilder knocks out Fury and then he calls out Anthony Joshua, you trying to use an excuse on pay-per-view numbers is going to backfire on Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn. I'm pretty sure of that one right there. So
you're right. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
So I'm telling you.
Adding on this card with Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. There's speculations about Gervonta Davis, Abner Mares, which is, I mean, it's an exciting fight, but really, I think Gervonta's going to beat Abner at this point in his career. Then you got Leo Santa Cruz and Gary Russell, which I think that should have been a separate bout. But, if you have it in a pay-per-view card with Fury and Wilder, that's going to be an exciting, man, 50-50 fight. And another question for you, man, is that what venue are they going to have this fight in? It's so many different cities you can have it in, and what is your target?
Well, they said, the talks was the fight was supposed to be in L.A. That was the talks. You talking about the Tyson Fury, the Anthony Joshua or Wilder Fury? Yeah, they've been saying that fight is going to be in L.A. And it makes sense because you got Abner Mares and Leo Santa Cruz, on the undercard. So it makes sense that the fight will be in L.A. It's going to be huge, and just like you just said right now, you could see the Gary Russell Leo Santa Cruz fight being on its own separate card, and that's what makes this card so epic. Is you have undercard fights that are main event fights, and we as boxing fans, we're not used to that. We're not used to seeing main event fights on the undercard. We're used to just waiting for the main event. Watching some guy we never heard of who's like 6-0 fighting against a tomato can and not even caring about the fight. So. Yeah, this is going to be like an all-star type of pay-per-view event, man. So I'm really looking forward to it, December 1st. And guys, we're going to open up the phone lines in a minute. Another thing I want to go ahead and touch on. I want to say shout out to Mayweather Promotions and Cameron Carrillo. Cameron Carrillo, he upset Borregos. I was there out here in Las Vegas at Samstown Casino. Shout out to, once again, Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellerby, and my man Ramblin' Ralph, the announcer and the commentator. I actually covered the fight ringside with him and did some commentary with your boy, man. So that was pretty cool, man. I enjoyed that. Ralph, we definitely got to do that a lot more often, covering these Mayweather fights out here in Las Vegas. But Cameron Carrillo, man, you guys look out for Cameron Carrillo. He has a 50-50 record. He was actually voted as Fighter of the Year for Mayweather Promotions. He's originally from Hawaii, and he fights out here in Las Vegas. Very, very good fighter. His record is very misleading because he has a lot of defeats on his record, but it's because he turned pro early and he fought nothing but undefeated prospects. You know, while yeah, all of his losses against undefeated prospects, but the majority of them, the fight could have went either way. You know, so you already know how it is, Gustavo. A lot of these fighters, when they undefeated, they avoid, you know, other undefeated fighters until they reach maybe 15-0, 20-0, and then they may, you know, step up in competition. But because Cameron didn't start with a big promotional company, they threw him in there, you know, to the wolves, like soon as he turned pro, you know. And now he's what I would call somewhat of a modern day Freddie Pendleton. For those of you guys who aren't familiar with Freddie Pendleton, he's a former lightweight champion. He fought Pernell Whitaker. He fought a whole bunch of fighters, and he had that 50-50 type record where he had like tons of losses. All of a sudden, he turned his career around and became a really good lightweight champion. So once again, man, congratulations to Cameron Carrillo. And with that being said, man, we're going to go ahead and take the first call. So like I said, everybody, thanks for tuning in. The number's on the screen. You guys can call in and chop it up, and whatever you guys want to talk about, you can. We won't be doing a 5-hour show tonight, y'all, unfortunately. But we probably going to try to get out of here in about an hour since, you know, we started the show late. Okay, let's go ahead and take the first call. Okay, we got 773. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Hey, this is Melvin Jackson calling from Chicago. How y'all doing?
What's going on, Melvin?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? What's on your mind?
How you doing, man?
All right.
First of all, I want to talk about. Did you hear the news about Shannon Briggs?
No, I didn't hear the news about Shannon Briggs. What's going on with him?
Well, the thing is, he had showed up to Joshua and Povetkin's to the weigh-in, and they wouldn't let him in. And after he did an interview not too long ago, you know, trashing Wilder, basically telling Fury, don't fight Wilder. You know, trying to do Eddie Hearn's dirty work for him, trying to get him to back out of the fight.
Yeah.
Trying to shield the fight, and after all of that, he can't come in the arena. And you can hear Shane Briggs just begging like, "Hey champ, they won't let me in," and they're like, "Hey, we done with you. You did our work for us."
That's what they said, huh? So they done threw my
basically.
They done threw my man Briggs under the bus. I mean, you know, like I said, I haven't seen it. I really don't know too much about it. Gustavo, you heard about that?
Yeah, because Blue Blood, even he talked about it.
I didn't read the whole story on there or the whole video. I mean, somebody tagged me actually about where he confronts Eddie Hearn, I think across. But that's the only part I saw. I didn't really see the whole story, like what the gentleman's saying.
Yeah, I mean, only thing I'll say is I really didn't understand that, though, when Briggs, when he came out, because I remember as soon as he heard about the Tyson Fury or the Wilder Fury fight, yeah, he over here like, no, don't do it. Don't do it, Tyson. Don't do it. I don't understand that. I don't understand why he would be sitting over here urging Tyson Fury not to do it. Like you said, it seemed like, you know, he's representing Eddie Hearn, and then basically, like you said, and this is basically karma, where he's over here repping Eddie Hearn, you know, by trying to downplay that fight, and then all of a sudden he can't even get let into the fight. I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I mean, you know,
and one other thing, Deontay, it seems to be like a pattern. It's been going on for years, but Joshua, guys like Joshua and Keith Thurman. Well, one thing we have in common is they look at the fans because they want them to fight the best competition. He say what they both say. Y'all don't realize we got a lot on the line here. We cannot. And guess what? Can we hang in that high
you sound a
as
little,
long as we can?
I'm sorry, you sound a little muffled. I'm trying to hear what you're saying. You sound a little muffled.
Okay. But what they was, what I was saying was that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you better.
I hear you now.
Yeah, Joshua, guys like Joshua and Keith Thurman, they like to sit on their high horse as long as they can. They enjoy being champion. They know they fight guys like the Spencers and the Wilders. They like, man, don't y'all realize what our show would be over?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he's pulling a Riddick bow.
So they like, what the hell?
He pulling a Riddick bow right now. That's how I see it. Go ahead, Gustavo.
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak for Keith Thurman. If you think about it, if you look at Keith Thurman's early career, he was calling the best names out too. You know, he called out Floyd Mayweather on HBO. He was, I want to fight Floyd. But you know, like Deontay always said, you gotta earn your spot. And us as fans, we gotta realize that these fighters aren't always gonna be on top forever. You know, they have their moment. And Keith Thurman probably realized at this moment, you know what, I'm the champion. And you know, it's unfortunate with his injury, but I'm pretty sure he wants to fight the best. But I think he's understanding the business and the business and the financial side, where he's like, oh, why fight the best guy now, where I won't make the most money at this moment? Maybe in 2 to 3 years, I'll make quadruple the money. You know, so I think these fighters are being more knowledgeable nowadays. You know, if you look at the history of boxing, you know, when the best fought the best, they weren't getting paid what they were being deserved. Not to say that how can you say, like, they were scared or anything, but it's just like this time around, a new era. It's just so different. You know, the fighters worry about their money, of course. Nobody's scared of nobody, because you know, people that fight in the ring, you know, they don't fear anything. You know? So for Thurman, I could give you that example.
Well, let me just say this, Gustavo. There's no doubt about it. You know, people always look at the business, but there's no doubt you have certain fighters that have more confidence than others. And when we talk about this all the time, when it comes to fear, of course a boxer is not afraid of getting punched. You know, of course he's not afraid of getting knocked out or whatever. But when it comes to, like you said, the business, that's where the fear comes in. That's why when you say it's a business, that's where the fear comes in, because if you lose, then you know financially you take a pay cut. So obviously, if you say to yourself, okay, well, if I fight Errol Spence and I get knocked out, you know, that throws me to the back of the line. You know, I'm over here trying to build up my bread, and if I lose to Errol Spence, then I'm kind of starting over. You know, I get a major pay cut. So the fear is right there. The fear is not in a physical way. The fear is with your finances, you losing money and you getting demoted, if you will. But at the same time, you have a lot of fighters that are, you know, risk versus reward type of fighters. Like, once again, Deontay Wilder did not have to fight Ortiz. That was the most dangerous opponent. He could have easily used, you know, him failing that PED test and said, I don't have to fight him anymore. And he still fought him, right? That was because he believed that he was going to beat him. He understood he had a lot to lose. Wilder had a lot to lose. He had more to lose in that fight than to gain almost, you know? So, and then you got Mikey Garcia, who wants to fight against Errol Spence. He doesn't have to fight against Errol Spence. He could wait and fight a Lomachenko, you know, or he could just stay at 140, or he could stay at 135 and just keep fighting fighters that aren't on Errol Spence's level. So I believe the majority of fighters, they are willing to take the risk, but you're going to have certain fighters that don't have the confidence. The one more point I will say, and once again, this is nothing personal. Keith Thurman, you know, he's a great fighter, but realistically, yeah, it's true. Keith Thurman was fighting everyone. He was calling everyone out. But what we have to be honest about is the guys that he was calling out, they were not Errol Spence. And clearly, if you look at the contrast of the fighters that he wanted to fight badly, and then the fact that he's not in a hurry to fight Errol Spence, that clearly suggests that he is looking at the business, like you said, the business aspect of what he may lose if he loses in that fight. So he understands that's a fight that he knows he has a good chance of possibly losing. When he was calling out Paulie Malignaggi and saying, don't duck me, and he was calling out Floyd Mayweather, he felt he had a better chance of beating those guys. And, you know, so once again, there is a fear element. It's just not physical. You know, like I said, even when we go to work, you work your regular 9-to-5 job, you know, and you know your ass done been late 3 times, and they tell you if you late again, you're going to get fired. You're going to have some fear going to work. You're going to be worried because you don't want to mess up your money, right? And that's and it's the same thing with boxing. No boxer wants to mess up his money, especially if he doesn't have the confidence that he is truly the best fighter in his division. So,
Dante, what do you agree with me that nobody was calling out Thurman? Maybe I'm wrong with the Spence, right? But nobody was calling out Thurman until you got exposed with the I believe the Collazo fight with the body shot, or probably even earlier with Dr. Caraz. So in my opinion, I'm thinking.
No, I agree. I agree with you.
All the top fighters are waiting for that one fighter to expose Errol Spence, like his biggest flaws. And I'm pretty sure after we find out his major flaws, everybody's gonna call him out. Same thing with Thurman. Nobody wanted to fight this guy. He gets exposed, and everybody wants to fight him.
You know what? You know what, Gustavo? It's funny you bring this up, and you make a good point, because Keith Thurman actually told me, like, back in 2015, I have it on my interview, when everyone was asking him is he going to fight Errol Spence, and that's when he was saying, I give it around 2017 and a quarter, when he fights somebody, whatever. And then he said to me, but what I'm trying to figure out is who's going to be the first person to step up and fight Errol Spence. This is what he said. So it's kind of in line with what you just said right now. Who's going to be the first person to fight him? And then, yeah, you're right. A lot of people are going to wait to see when he's vulnerable, because right now they're looking at him as a flawless fighter, indestructible and all of that. But I also believe, Gustavo, that Mikey Garcia calling out Errol Spence, that gave other fighters just a little bit, not a lot, but it gave other fighters just a little bit more confidence. Like, if this small guy is calling out Errol Spence, he making us look bad. You know what I mean? So we need to step our game up. If Mikey is gonna call him out,
But I think with Mikey, it's different because he's making up those 2 years he lost with the promotional contract with Top Rank. So in his mind, Father Time is eventually going to catch up to Mike. And not to say he's old, but, boxing's very unpredictable, and one fight could change your life. Let's say his next fight with Errol Spence, he gets really hurt, and he can't box anymore. So everything's calculated on Mikey Garcia's on behalf. Not everybody can do what Mikey Garcia is doing, because not everybody has the skills that he has. So I think with Mikey's a little bit different situation than any other fighters that
Yeah, but
try to.
And this is a great conversation. Once again, you guys could call in. But one more time though, Gustavo, you got to remember, it's not just Mikey doing it. I mean, Errol Spence is willing to fight anyone. Wilder is willing to fight anyone. Terrence Crawford is willing to fight anyone. The Charlo brothers, they've showed that they're willing to fight anyone. I would say, it's a much smaller percentage. There's a smaller percentage of fighters that's not willing in there to get in there and fight anyone in their division. The majority of fighters are fighting everyone. And I don't believe Mikey is doing this because he feels like he's older or he took the layoff and he's closer towards the end of his career. Right now he's in his prime. And I truly believe Mikey truly believes he can beat this guy. I mean, something else I want to say is, if that were the case, then we could say the same thing about Golovkin. Golovkin is towards the end of his career, so you would think the same thing would apply with Golovkin, where Golovkin would be like, you know what, it's towards the end of my career. I want to fight the best fighters before I retire. But Golovkin is not thinking like Mikey Garcia. He's not thinking like, let me fight the Charlo brothers. Let me go ahead and fight this guy and fight that guy before I retire, so I can solidify my legacy. Hey, my caller's been trying to say something. Go ahead, caller.
Oh, my bad, brother.
It's okay. I just wanted to say before I go, support Dante's Boxing Nation and decafs. Just call.
Just call.
All you gotta do is just call.
Just call. That's what it is, man. Just call in. If you filling up the comment section and you disagree with anything I'm saying or anybody on the panel is saying, call in, man. Ain't nobody gonna hurt you. It's just boxing talk. If you truly believe what you're saying makes logical sense, please call in, y'all. That's what it is. Hey, thanks for your call, man. I'm gonna get to another one. All right, man?
Thank you. All
right. Take care. Once again, man, we doing a late show tonight. I got my special guest, panelist. He's a reporter like myself. AB Boxing News out there in New York, Brooklyn. That's what it is. So once again, guys, you guys call in. Let me know what it is. That's what it is. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go to another one. We have, we never know what this is going to be, but we have an anonymous caller calling in right now. So what's going on, man? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is David. This ain't no trolling, none of that. I'm just calling in. This is like a first time caller. I'm from the Bronx, So I was very glad to talk to you, new media, and everything's on point. What do you rate Anthony Joshua's performance against Povetkin?
Ooh, how I rate the performance? I mean, me personally, because a lot of us, once you look at the knockout, a lot of us like almost forget what happened before that. And you gotta, I'm looking at things as like a boxing trainer, and if I'm looking at things like a boxing trainer, then I would rate his performance probably like a 2 out of a 5. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's basically how I would rate it, because once again, he looked extremely vulnerable. Like I said yesterday in our live show, he looked to me like he was a little conflicted. He was confused. Like, he didn't know if he wanted to box or he wanted to fight on the inside and just stand there, you know. I
think he was.
Go ahead.
Sorry about that. I think he was surprised by his speed, because whenever Povetkin got inside and caught it with a good combo, it really made Anthony Joshua like, whoa, I never think he was this fast inside. Because Povetkin is a very good inside fighter, and whenever Anthony Joshua fights a smaller fighter, he always keep it on the outside. That's why I feel like with him and Wilder, there's going to be a different story. He's going to want to go inside Wilder. Mm-hmm. He's not going to want to fight that type of distance against Wilder, because that right hand is going to come through the middle, it's going to come through the side, wherever.
Yeah, man, and see, and that's the thing, man. That's the thing, because he has Povetkin, he knows how to fight small. He knows how to fight like a short fighter. He's comfortable fighting taller guys, and he can get underneath you and come up out of the ocean like a shark, you know, like Mike Tyson would do. You know, he's really, really unorthodox, unpredictable with those overhand rights and everything, you know, and that's why I think at first Joshua, he wasn't using the jab at all. And I'm like, why isn't he jabbing? You 6'6", you know, control him with the jab. But credit to Povetkin. Povetkin every once in a while was able to land that overhand right over his jab. So there's no doubt about it. It was a difficult style for Anthony Joshua. But once again, man, you know, it trips me out when I heard commentators saying, man, this Anthony Joshua keeps getting better and better. And like I said to Gustavo earlier, I haven't seen the best Anthony Joshua probably since Klitschko. Since Klitschko, that was the best. Yeah, that's why it didn't make sense, because the reporter said to Anthony, like, you know, champ, do you think you probably would have lost this fight like 2-3 years ago? His point was, now that Joshua's so much more experienced and mature, that's why he was able to win this fight. No, that's not true. 2-3 years ago, you know, he probably would have knocked out Povetkin early, because before
he was a lot faster back then too.
Well, but I think it's a confidence factor. I think this is more about confidence right now. Joshua is not fighting with the same type of confidence that he fought with before, and that's why I even believe that Joshua versus Dillian White would be a more 50-50 fight now, because he's not.
Oh yeah, because Dillian White is a strong body puncher, and he's very good in the inside as well as Povetkin. So that's definitely I definitely see problems in that fight as well.
Yeah, and they saying I'm hating on Anthony. They said I'm hating on Anthony Joshua. So once again, man, if you guys disagree, you guys disagree with anything I'm saying, call in, man. If anything I just said right now did not logically make sense, if anything I just said right now is something you probably would not hear from a boxing trainer or someone like that from that perspective, call in, guys. Call in so we could talk about it. But I'm telling you right now.
Man, and Deontay, yo, thank you for your work. I thank you. I thank guys like you. I thank guys like Boxing Eagle. I'm glad I don't gotta look at any other journalists, any other old media journalists, any other HBO journalists, Dan Raphael, and none of that as a source. And I got people like y'all. You know, boxing need people like y'all. Of course, we need people like y'all.
Thank you, brother. You know? And that's
if
what.
If it ain't y'all, then boxing ain't really. Like, who's going to tell the truth?
Who's going to tell?
Everybody's going to be hypocrite and stuff like that.
And what you just said right now, bro, is exactly why new media is here. What you just said right now, man. Yep. Hashtag, man, it's new media or no media. Hey, man, thanks for your call, man. I appreciate you. All right, man? Thank you, man.
All right.
Thanks for the love. All right. So yeah, Gustavo. So that was a whole lot right there, man. But anyway, before we take another call, I see the phone lines are starting to fill in right now. Before we take another call, let's switch gears real quick. Hey, you were telling me about the Thurman versus Zab Judah fight. So you told me long time ago about this, Gustavo. Now it's looking like it's more of a reality now. Talk about that.
Well, I reported this to you like 6-7 months ago. This was when Thurman was supposed to return in May. I think it was on May 19 at the Barclays. And then I was hearing from, credible sources and, people that I know with Thurman, they were saying, he might take the Zab Judah fight. And I'm starting to think Zab Judah, but I'm not trying to play Zab Judah, but, he's not the level he was before, but he's still a name. He's still a good fighter. And then I actually have an interview with Zab Judah when it was in the Brooklyn Kings Theater. It was a real deal fight, and I asked him, there's been rumors about Thurman, and he sounded confident with like, oh no, there's no such thing. But then I was like, but if it was asked for you, like, would you take the fight? He's like, oh hell yeah, I'll take the fight. Like, I wouldn't even hesitate to take the fight. So that interview was like probably like 5 months ago too. And then I started hearing it more often. I started hearing it on Twitter, IG, and a lot of credible sources. Now I'm starting to think. And then I don't know if you've seen a post from Zab Judah. I think he wrote, I can't wait to become. I'm aiming to become a 6-time world champion. And then it just, when it's like puzzles, you start puzzling in together. And I'm like, Thurman's going to return soon. He needs a tune-up fight. Not to say that, like I said,
that would be a great tune-up fight. That would be a great tune-up fight, especially out there in Brooklyn. That'd be big in Brooklyn.
Yeah. So that's why I say, I'm like, if Thurman does come back, it's either Zab Judah. Now, somebody was telling me too the other day, Josecito Lopez, but I think it's going to be Zab Judah. It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And when I talked to Zab Judah last week at the Box Fan Expo, he told me he wanted Danny Garcia. He said he wanted the rematch with Danny Garcia because I was asking him about, Garcia and Errol Spence and everybody in the welterweight division. Zab said he wanted Danny Garcia. But I think that's a good look for Keith Thurman. That would be a great look for Keith Thurman. If he were to fight Zab Judah once again at the new mecca of boxing out there in the Barclays Center, it'd be big. I mean, I still think, Gustavo, Thurman versus Jesse Vargas would still be a good fight. But that's a better fight. I feel I like the fight personally, right? With Zab Judah and Keith Thurman, but I feel like people are going to be very critical to the point where they're gonna. For me, I think they're gonna compare this fight to like Danny Garcia versus out of his prime Eric Morales. That's how I feel. Which one, the Zab Judah fight?
Yeah, like if I was compared Keith Thurman versus Zab Judah, I think people are gonna be very critical. And they might just be like, this is going to be like another Danny Garcia trying to pick on out of his prime Eric Morales. He had the 2 fights with Eric Morales. That's what I feel. I might be wrong, right?
No, it's not, and there's nothing wrong with feeling that way. I personally believe because it's his first fight back, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Obviously, he's going to be a heavy favorite. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I would have had a problem. Now, I would have had a problem if Keith Thurman would have kept his belt and he was doing this. I know he still has one of the belts, but if he kept that other belt and he was doing this, I think I would have just a little bit more of a problem with it. But the fact that it's his first fight, it's his first fight back. It's really
interesting too. It's really interesting too. Now that you mention it, right? Zab Judah's a southpaw. The last time Keith Thurman fought a southpaw, he actually struggled. Leonard Bundle, the one that Errol Spence handled with ease. Leonard Bundle. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting.
And Collazo too.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There you go.
Yeah.
I was wrong now, yeah. But it's going to be interesting, though. Southpaw, I think his style's different than Collazo, so it's going to be interesting. He might have a hard night.
Yeah, I mean, if Zab shows up, because, we've seen Zab show up. I forget the guy he beat, but I remember when people thought that Zab's career was done, and he ended up beating the undefeated guy. I forgot his name, but he ended up beating the undefeated guy that you saw his fight on ESPN. The guy was good. He was supposed to destroy Zab. Zab ended up beating him. And that undefeated guy, his career was over. It was some light-skinned brother. I forgot his name, man. But he was good. He was real good. But anyway, I'll figure it out. But anyway, so yeah, if he shows up, but if the Zab Judah that fought against, Paulie Malignaggi shows up, then it's going to be a horrible fight. It's going to be a horrible fight, and they might just start dancing.
Even at this point, I think anything that Keith Thurman does that does not include Errol Spence, I think he's gonna get criticized. So I just feel like he's just gonna get criticized regardless if it's not Errol Spence to this point.
I'm gonna say this, Gustavo. If Keith Thurman does not fight Errol Spence before his career is over, then he's really gonna get criticized. But I don't believe he's going to really get that criticized. But we'll find out. Anything is possible. I think people right now may just be happy to see Keith Thurman back and just be curious to see how he's going to look. I mean, just him in there with a name, I think it'll be pretty interesting. Just him in there with a name, I think it'll be pretty interesting, So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. I can't wait to see how he's going to look. So, yeah. With
that, too, brother. He's a good guy, man. So, we can only hope for the best for all these fighters, man. We want what's best for them,
Absolutely, man. DBN Radio special guest panelist, my man, Gustavo, with AB Boxing News. He's a reporter out there in New York. He's repping with me tonight. You guys can call in. I'm going to go to the phone lines in a minute. Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. Show your love, man. You can also show your love in the super chat section. If, you want more live shows like this, you guys can show that love, donating and hitting that like button. Let me go ahead and introduce another member in that super chat DBN Army. My man, what's that, man? Abel. My man Abel, is that Abel Mahari? He said Joshua kept leaving his left hand down and showed no head movement. Hearn and his team know this and wants no parts of. Hashtag LDBC and hashtag new media, says my man Abel. Yeah, man. I mean, he kept putting his hands down, and at first he wasn't jabbing. But, like I keep saying, man, it's going to be very difficult. I don't really see him having too much of a chance at all against Deontay Wilder. I truly believe Tyson Fury has a better chance against Wilder than Anthony Joshua does. That's my take on that situation. But let's go ahead and take another call. Once again, I appreciate you guys staying on hold. Let's go ahead and take another call, see what we got. Okay. We got LA up in here. We got 323. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's happening, nation? This is Reggie calling in out here in Vegas.
Reggie Reg.
LA representative. Yeah, what's happening?
What's going on, Reg? What's good with you, man?
Oh, man, enjoying this conversation you guys are having, man. The answer to that fighter you were talking about, Zab beating, that was, I think that was Kareem Mayfield.
No, it was it wasn't Mayfield. Yeah, I seen that. You know what? I'm about to look it up right now. It wasn't Mayfield. I was actually
not Kareem.
No, it wasn't Kareem because it was an undefeated prospect that he fought. I'm gonna tell y'all in a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and look it up. Well, what else you got on your mind, man?
But yeah, the thing I got is the thing with AJ and them trying to pull off this duck. But the thing that I see that they're doing is they think they're slick. So the thing is they're trying to take these fights that they're taking as tune-ups to gear him up for this inevitable fight with Wilder. But the thing that I'm seeing is
it was Vernon Paris. Sorry to cut you off. It was Vernon Paris. Vernon Paris is the guy that he beat. Yeah. Go ahead, Richie.
Yeah. But yeah, so I see them. They're trying to be slick on him in these tune-up fights, which is to prepare him for the inevitable. But time has ran out because UK fans have been listening over here to this new media, and they're getting up on board of things, and they're tired of the BS. But AJ, even during these fights, he lacks a lot of things. The other thing I see is that even during his where he's tried to slim down, he's having an issue with getting all that muscle mass up off of him. He's still coming in heavy, still having these cardio issues, and he lacks his mobility. He has real mobility issues, and I think that's going to affect him against a fight with Wilder. Wilder being very tall, rangy, and athletic as hell. It's a curtain call for him, and he ultimately sees that. He's trying to prolong shit for as long as he can, but you can't do that that's so captivating in the sport. This is a fight that he made. Heavyweight boxing is the most captivating thing in sports. It goes down the history books, and AJ, you can't avoid it. It has to happen.
It has to happen, and we can't condone and encourage that type of behavior, man. I mean, once again, it's different if Joshua had been calling him out for 6 months, but after 2 years, that meat has been marinating for over 12 hours. It's time to eat. It's time to eat right now. So
right.
That's pretty much what that is. And like I said, man, I mark my words. Everything that I've been telling you guys has been coming to fruition. That's gonna make Anthony Joshua look horrible if Wilder knocks out Fury and Anthony Joshua still doesn't face him. It doesn't matter what excuse Anthony and Eddie Hearn use, it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire. Once again, I mean, the fact that you have, and I know some fans say, oh, Eddie Hearn always gets booed, but it doesn't matter. The fact that you have UK fans booing Eddie Hearn when Anthony Joshua says, hey, let's give Eddie Hearn a round of applause. Let's shots out to Eddie Hearn. And then the whole UK fan, they boo him. Oh, that's not a good look. That's not. And once again, and when Anthony Joshua says, I'm going to do a poll and see what the fans want next, and then the entire crowd says Wilder, And then you got Naseem Hamed, you got Carl Froch, you got Lennox Lewis, Tyson Fury, and I'm just naming guys off the top of the dome. You know, you got UK fans that once again are saying he needs to fight him next. You guys have to understand something. No one in America, by way of contrast, no one in America is blaming this on Wilder. And people in America, they're saying the same thing that they're saying in the UK. So it's unanimous when it comes to who really wants this fight and who is not in a rush to take the fight. And once again, like Gustavo said, it does have something to do with business. If your confidence that you may not beat this guy is not through the roof, then yeah, that's going to mess up your business. You know what I mean? And ain't nobody trying to, at least Anthony Joshua, who already said that he wants to be a billionaire, you know, like Floyd Mayweather. You know, if he's thinking like that, then he completely is thinking, I can't get in with this guy. Anthony told me personally that he thought that Deontay Wilder was the most dangerous heavyweight, you know, outside of himself. So yeah, that's what that is, man. That's what that is.
And also the other thing, man, with the because like I said, man, these platforms, these new media platforms are very powerful. YouTube has shocked the world. It's become such a powerful tool. The other pressures, if this BS is allowed, where this Wilder fight doesn't happen, the other pressures that all the platforms have to get on is putting pressure on these sanctioning bodies. These organizations that sanction these belts have become the biggest bullshit in boxing. Yeah. There's no organization. They have to get out of bed with these promoters. There has to be a line drawn with the BS in boxing. Boxing has to get back to the critical point.
Of
being major players. So
I mean, we need a national commission, man. I mean, the sport needs to be structured like leagues, like the NBA, like the NFL. None of this stuff would ever happen in the NFL and the NBA. And you know that's how the sport needs to be ran. It's like you said, it's too much corruption, and it's too easy for you know, palms to get greased and all that kind of stuff. And it can't be that way. It can't be that way. You know, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But something else before we move on to another topic is Gustavo, and I want to ask you guys listening right now, what did you think about Sergio Martinez? He said that he believes that after that performance, Anthony Joshua is definitely the A side with him knocking out Alexander Povetkin. Gustavo, do you think if Wilder knocks out Fury after Anthony knocks out Povetkin, I mean, who do you see as A side, or do you see it more even? How do you see it?
I think that, you know, even if Wilder knocks Fury out, it doesn't. You know, we got to give Joshua his credit. You know, he has a better resume. He has 3 of the 4 titles at the heavyweight.
You think Joshua has a better resume if Wilder knocks out Fury?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, let's look at the names and the way. The skills. You know, I'm not like for example, right, Wilder. In top of my head, I only think of Luis Ortiz as a credible name.
But I said Fury too. So if he would have
so let's say he beat Fury. If I have to give, if it's a 50-50, maybe like 45, 55 Joshua. Because you gotta look at it not only as his boxing record, but just his name himself. He transcends not just the UK, but global. And Deontay Wilder can't do that at the moment. So it just makes sense for Joshua to be the A side right now at the moment.
Joshua's only big in the UK.
Yeah, Joshua's only big.
I mean, let me ask you this: if Joshua and Wilder are walking, for example, let's say in Australia or I don't know, let's say Asia, who do you think is going to be more mobbed, Joshua or Wilder?
If they're in Asia,
Wilder.
You said
I'm giving an example. I'm just naming.
Wilder is a dark-skinned black dude in Asia is a hot commodity.
That could be true.
That's actually true. But yeah, like I said, you can't even. I mean, even if we say, you know, it would be 50-50 if they were to go to Asia or Japan or somewhere. But just like Reggie said, there's no doubt about it. Joshua is only big in the UK, and there's no doubt about it. I believe with Wilder. See, the thing with Tyson Fury, if Wilder knocks out Tyson Fury, he could still be considered, you know, the undisputed, or at least the lineal champion, because he never lost his belt. Of course. He never lost his belt. So you beat Ortiz, a guy that nobody wanted to fight, and that's the guy you beat. You know, see, because Anthony Joshua hasn't even fought a guy that no one wanted to fight yet. He's never actually faced a guy that no one wanted to fight, and he was like, you know what, I can beat him. He ain't no boogeyman to me. I'm the boogeyman, so I'm gonna fight him. You know, that's Wilder's demeanor when he goes in the ring. You know, he fought a dude who tested positive for steroids, and he still wanted to fight the guy. So you got Ortiz, you got Tyson Fury. No, I think those guys alone. I mean, we don't even have to mention Bermane Stiverne. You know, those guys alone, I think, is better. I mean, no doubt about it. Joshua's win over Vladimir Klitschko, you know, that was a good win. But we know, once again, that was close to the end of Vladimir's career. You know, he wasn't fighting this young, hungry lion that everyone was trying to avoid. And the Dillian White win, that was a good win for Anthony Joshua. But once again, Tyson Fury is like the lineal champion that never lost, you know, his belts. So I mean,
so David, let me ask you. Your opinion, if if he wins, knocks out Fury, you think it's gonna be, you think it should be 50-50 then? Is that what I'm getting?
I think it should be 50-50, but I know how Anthony and Eddie Hearn are. I know Wilder's most likely gonna have to budge, you know, so I could even see 40-60. Yeah, I could see 40-60 in favor of Anthony Joshua, even if he doesn't deserve it. Yeah, there is a chance that Wilder, he's going to have to submit to their demands if, once again, they're not sending a ridiculous contract over to Deontay Wilder. You know, stipulations like if there's a draw, we don't want a rematch and all that kind of crazy stuff, or we get to fight one more fighter before we fight you. Putting stuff like that in the contract, it tells the public that Anthony Joshua doesn't want the fight. So worst case scenario, 60-40. I mean, you know, I think it should be 50-50 if Wilder beats Fury.
Tyson Fury?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it could be 50-50. But I know, once again, they're not going to allow it. I know Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua, they're going to try their best to use that as an excuse, I truly believe, you know, to not take the fight and say we offered him the fight, just like they're doing right now. And they said, hey, we sent the contract, you know, but he didn't want the fight. We even heard Anthony Joshua say, hey, everybody else, they took the fight. He said Charles Martin took the fight. Joseph Parker, you know, trying to, you know, basically change the situation, you know, to try to get fans to believe that narrative that Wilder was offered a fight and he just, for whatever crazy reason, he just turned down the fight, when we know that's not the case. So yeah.
But what do you think about this with Tyson Fury having his own level of stardom, huge stardom over in the UK? If Wilder goes in there and smokes him, he creates this huge aura for himself amongst UK fans.
Oh yeah,
it begins this huge shift. Fans are already on the fringe when it comes to Joshua. There'll be a huge shift towards this new aura that Wilder presents over in the UK, and it shifts everything.
That's a good point.
Stardom shifts overnight, and it's beginning to happen with AJ. He's plateaued because of this fear that fans are seeing in the UK. You represent their country, you make them look bad. They're beginning to shift on that guy.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Reggie. Great point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you know, all of a sudden, you know, Wilder has an opportunity to pick up on a lot of Tyson Fury fans. He has an opportunity to pick up some of his fans. This is what happened when when Floyd Mayweather knocked out Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton fans and UK fans, they fell in love with Floyd Mayweather. Right after he knocked out Ricky Hatton, he came back 2 years later out of retirement. He did a media workout in the UK. 5,000 fans showed up. 5,000 UK fans showed up to a media workout, you know, because Floyd Mayweather showed up in the UK. So no doubt about it, you know, that will definitely catapult Tyson Fury's popularity. Oh, I'm sorry, Wilder's popularity if he were to KO Tyson Fury, because they're going to be watching this fight closely out there in the UK, no doubt about it. Hey, let's go ahead and take another call, man. Once again, man, we winding down. Not gonna be up on here all day. Let me go and take another call. We have Toronto. I believe this is Toronto, Canada. 647.
Hey.
What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Deontay? This is Alan. Obviously calling from Toronto, Canada. How you guys doing?
All right, man. What's good with you, man? What's good with you?
Awesome. Yeah, so I was watching the fight, and I was following everything with Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, and I was watching the fight with Anthony Joshua versus Povetkin, and I'm starting to think that he's actually faking the way that he fights, looking like he's not that competitive, and he's trying to make everyone think that he's not that competitive for Wilder, and I think that he's actually really a good fighter, and he's probably going to come in against Wilder and probably perform a lot better. But it's just really weird because if the fight does happen between Wilder and Joshua, we all could pretty much know that Joshua had Deontay Wilder had a pretty good chance of knocking out Anthony Joshua, and I just don't know. I just don't really know what's going on in the head of Anthony Joshua and everything else. And so I'm just hoping that this fight does happen. When the fight does happen, that it's going to be a great fight. But I just don't understand what they were saying with Anthony Joshua getting better and better. What exactly, specifically, is Anthony Joshua getting better at? I just don't understand that.
No, he's not getting better and better. And I got to tell you, bro, I completely disagree. I don't think Anthony Joshua is playing possum. He's not looking like trash just to bait Deontay Wilder in. That's not the case at all. He just, once again, my question is, what has changed Anthony Joshua? For all we know, maybe Carlos Takam caught him with something, and that changed him. Because in the Carlos Takam fight in the first half, Anthony Joshua, he was looking like AJ. He was looking like Anthony Joshua. And then towards the second half of that fight, Takam, he was walking down Anthony Joshua. And if it wasn't for the referee jumping in, we don't know. Takam might have knocked him down or even stopped him if that UK referee didn't jump in and save Anthony Joshua. He was acting like he was saving Takam, but I think everybody looked at that like he was saving Anthony Joshua in that fight. So no, that's pretty much what it is. But hey, thank you for your call, Canada. I appreciate it. All right, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, take care.
Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, man. People got all type of theories, and but no, that's not what it is. But anyway,
talking about Canada, he reminded me of something. The fight with Adonis Stevenson and what's his name, Alexander. What's the guy?
Usyk.
The light head.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't know this. I didn't even know this, but Teddy Atlas is actually going to be training him for that fight.
Teddy Atlas is going to be training who for that fight?
Usyk.
Oh, he's going to be training Usyk. Oh, okay. That's a good look. That's a good look. I mean, I believe Usyk is going to win that fight, but with Bellew's durability, his durability, the fact that he gets stronger and stronger as the rounds progress. Usyk will definitely be tested. But yeah, I forgot about that fight. I forgot they announced that fight, on the undercard of the Anthony Joshua fight. That's a good look. That's a good look, and that's a good fight right there, man.
That's a good fight.
Yeah, Alexander.
And what do you think about?
Okay, it's Govstick.
Yeah.
We said Usyk. Yeah, it's Govstick. We getting all these European fighters emerging, getting them mixed up.
Yeah. It's like GYZ, something like that. I know it's like God. Yeah. What do you think about Willie Monroe and Jamal Charlo supposedly gonna fight in Houston? I think late 2018.
Yeah, that's pretty. That kind of surprised me. And it's just unfortunate. I guess with that news of Jamal fighting against Willie Monroe, obviously it's just another stay busy fight until Jamal Charlo, gets one of the champion or the WBC champion, which is Canelo now, until he gets him in the ring. But once again, it's just a stay busy fight. Clearly, Jamal Charlo, he's looking at Willie Monroe as a tune-up, just to stay warm and be prepared and ready for Canelo if Canelo gets in the ring. But since you brought that up, once again, this goes back to the politics that really annoys me, because there's no doubt about it, man. Your boy Jamal Charlo, he's been patiently waiting to fight against whoever the WB champion is. And now he has to continue to fight other guys when he wants to fight against the champion. There's no doubt about it, man. And we already know the WBC is a belt where the president is from Mexico. He's very close to Canelo Alvarez. it's kind of hard for me to see Sullivan doing the right thing in that situation. And once again, that's why we need more of a structure in the sport of boxing, because that ain't right, man. That ain't right. That's like.
Do you feel like Charlo would make an easier work with Monroe? Like if you had to compare, like let's say what Triple G did to Willie Monroe, do you think Charlo could he be superb over that performance?
I think so. I mean, remember, Willie Monroe actually is the first fighter to be honest, I think he's the first fighter to really expose Gennady Golovkin, at least on prime time. Or HBO, I say HBO prime time, because he was also exposed a little bit when he fought against Qasim Umar, but a lot of people didn't see that fight. But but once he got a bigger name, he was more exposed against Willie Monroe. Someone else who beat Willie Monroe was Billy Joe Saunders. So so Charlo, he has that fight to look at too, as in terms of impressing and looking better than those guys. No, I think it will be more of a landslide when it comes to Jamal Charlo going up against Willie Monroe. No doubt about it.
But stylistically, do you think it's going to be a whack fight? Because Monroe ain't going to want to stand there. He's going to move around and not do nothing like he did against Billy Joe. He's going to make it for stylistically, I just see it being a boring fight.
It could be.
Not engaging.
It could be. Unless Charlo, he lands his Sunday punch early. But you're right. If he don't get him out there early, it could be a boring fight. That's unfortunate, but it could be an African. I'm looking at a comment, and dude said the African dude. That just came out. I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, but that could be. It could be a boring fight. It could be a boring fight, man. But once again, man, we gotta demand that we get the fights that we deserve, man. We gotta demand that we get this Charlo versus Canelo fight. They talking about FA. That's the African dude they talking about FA. But anyway, yeah, man. So that's pretty much what that is, Goo. And what's going on with this? What's going on with Jamel Charlo calling out Floyd Mayweather, Goo?
Yeah. It was a couple of videos out there in the article that how Floyd and Pacquiao made headlines about trying to have a rematch, but then Floyd said that he's going to take a tune-up fight and possibly fight in Japan because he's trying to expand, his money team brand in Japan, and I think a couple of investors in Japan actually want to do the fight. And then Jamel just called him out, hey, listen, if you're coming back, you might as well fight me. Which, Jamel always calls out everybody, anybody that has a higher platform than him. And, Jamel. He always making noise out here.
Yeah. I mean, it can't do you no harm calling out Floyd Mayweather. You already know how that works. But you might get lucky. Like when Juan Manuel Marquez called out Floyd Mayweather when he was in retirement. And Marquez said, I wanted to fight Floyd. None of us thought it would happen. Next thing you know, that was Floyd Mayweather's first return bout after a 2-year layoff. So anything is possible, but no, Floyd's not going to fight no Jamel Charlo, certainly at a higher weight class. At 40 years old, that ain't going to happen. Floyd Mayweather, but it will be interesting. It'll be interesting who if Floyd does, because we still don't know for sure if this really is going to be a tune-up bout. I hope it is going to be one, but realistically, we still don't know what he's going to do. For all we know, he may just be promoting the card out there. We don't know what he's going to be doing. He could be announcing, his return to, or he could be announcing that he's going to be on the next fight. The next fight night. He could be announcing he's going to be on the next fight night. Anything is possible. True, yeah, anything is possible, man. So, but I hope he is going to have a tune-up bout, because we already know no matter who Floyd Mayweather fights, and then him fighting globally, him fighting in Japan. Oh man, that would be huge. That would be huge. That goes back to the Don King days. Tyson fighting in Tokyo. Yeah, man, that would be a good look. That would be a really good look.
Let me ask you this, Deontay. I know that Canelo's made headlines last week, and then they, Eric Gomez was saying that, depending on Canelo's cut, he might return in December. And, a lot of people are saying Lemieux. I think somebody was, I think it was Bernard, or was it Oscar, that said that possibly Jamal could be a candidate too. Do you see that fight actually happening in December? Canelo, Lemieux, December 15 or Canelo,
I
Charlo.
I definitely see the fight happening. I mean, you got both of them with Golden Boy. It's an in-house fight, and it's a tailor. His style is tailor-made for Gennady Golovkin. I mean, that fight is going to look like Canelo versus James Kirkland, as far as I'm concerned. So, I mean, he keeps, Lemieux, he looks good against, every once in a while he looks good, and then he steps up in competition, gets outboxed or gets knocked out. That's always been the pattern with David Lemieux. So yeah, I definitely see that fight happening next. The funny
also I want.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say also before I forget. I think you mentioned it last week too. I didn't get a chance to talk to you about it, but there was a lot of speculation too between Canelo. He has one more regular HBO show to fight in, right? Which will be December, and then after that, he's a free agent. I wanted to know your opinion on where should he go in terms of network? Should he go with Showtime, ESPN, with Top Rank, or DAZN with Matchroom Sports and Eddie Hearn? What do you think?
And you talking about? I'm sorry because I took a glance at my comment section. You were talking about Canelo, where he should go, right, with his contract ending.
Yeah, because
I mean, of course,
he said he got one more regular HBO.
Listen. I mean, it's hands down. He should go with Al Heyman because right now, let's be realistic about it. I mean, Al Heyman in the PBC series. They're putting together a monopoly right now. I mean, they're monopolizing the sport of boxing. I mean, they're putting together the biggest fights. They're putting them on prime time. Everybody is happy. The fighters are happy. The fans are happy. We're getting to watch a lot of these fights on regular TV. So it's no doubt, it's hands down, you will go with Al Heyman over any other promoter or advisor, if you will. But I don't think Canelo's going to do that. I think he's going to remain loyal to Golden Boy, and it's sad because I think he could be even bigger. I think his brand will be even bigger with Al Heyman. See, Al Heyman is smart, man. Al Heyman is smart because he brought boxing to the East Coast where we didn't have this before.
Yeah.
Before, we only had the West Coast. That was it. Al Heyman was the one that brought fights to the East Coast, and the atmosphere is far more electric as far as I'm concerned over there than it is on the West Coast. So he knows, he had Thurman fighting out there in Florida. He had, he's smart like that. He knows it's only common sense. You're going to put a fighter where their fan base is going to show up, right? And so, that's what Canelo should do. And speaking of contracts ending, Gustavo, there was also talks that Terrence Crawford, his contract had came to an end, and he ended up re-signing with Top Rank, right?
See, things like that, I don't really understand. I mean, I seen an interview too with Bob Arum talking that, he wants to make the fight happen with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford 2019. But it's just like, Bob Arum and Top Rank always do those in-house shows, not to disrespect like any Top Rank fighters. It is what it is. And that fight's not going to happen. Prior to I said this to my friend actually the other day. He thought I was crazy. He was like, Gustavo, you going to see that fight? I'm like, the only way I see Terrence Crawford beating Errol Spence is probably in 5 years, where Errol Spence is going to be fighting the top elite guys. And Deontay, when you're fighting the elite fighters, it takes a toll on your body. And, and Terrence Crawford might not be fighting the elite guys from now to 5 years from now. He could be the fresher guy. And that's what I told my friend. I'm like, that's the only way I could see Terrence Crawford beating Errol Spence in 5 years.
Fighting Errol Spence. I truly believe that if they're gonna fight, I think it will probably be in maybe the next 2 years. Like I said, I kind of look at it like I kind of look at it like a tournament type of structure, and that's what I'm hoping that we get. Where once again you have Errol Spence, he cleans out his side of the division or his bracket, and then you have Terrence Crawford, he cleans out, his bracket, and then we get that super Leonard versus Hagler type of fight. I think it will happen. I think if the fight gets big enough, it will happen. But one more question I want to ask you and everybody in the comment section. What about, man, if Canelo leaves HBO, is HBO done? If Canelo leaves HBO, is HBO done? I mean, they'd have nobody else. Golovkin just lost. Kovalev got knocked out. They don't have anybody now, right?
No, I think if Canelo goes, I think it's the end of an era. It feels like HBO did it to themselves though, because you have so much fighters, you invested so much, and then just to cut down, certain fight cards, And then the only thing they'll probably have is like the Superfly 4. Superfly 4. And probably like Jaime Munguia. I think they were talking about having him in a card. And then I forgot what was the other name. I forgot. I think it was Machado. Munguia's a good fighter, but he's not a big enough name for people to be like, oh, let me go to HBO.
Yeah.
And I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I even cut my HBO from my cable because I'm like, I don't really see anything from HBO now.
Yeah.
Here and there.
That's
I just bought the Zone for yesterday's fight, and then I just got the ESPN Plus too, just to watch the fights all over again. Like with HBO, it's like I get a fight maybe every 4 months, every 3 months. It's like, is it worth for me to pay premium network?
And that's crazy.
I don't. Yeah,
man,
it's
and that's
real life, man. It's crazy.
Real talk, and it's so crazy you brought that up. I mean, I gave up my HBO subscription a long time ago, but yeah, because a lot of boxing fans, they only had it just because of the boxing fights, and now the fights on HBO look like ESPN Friday night fights or USA Tuesday night fights. If you go all the way back to then, and probably some of them fights was better than HBO fights. So like you said, they did it to themselves though, Gustavo. I think commentators like Jim and Larry, they have something to do with it because they allowed their emotions to get in the way of business. You had the biggest name in the sport of boxing, Floyd Mayweather, and they should have been treating him like royalty. Instead, they treated him like he was the devil, and that backfired on him. Dissing him in post-fight interviews, disrespecting him, allowing Larry Merchant to completely disrespect this man, and him not getting reprimanded at all. All of that kind of stuff that led to their demise. And once HBO, once Floyd Mayweather left HBO, that was the beginning of the end. That was that little chip right there in the Titanic right there. You know what I'm saying? That was the first tear. Hold on, one more thing, and I'm gonna let you start. But one more thing. Yeah. So Floyd Mayweather, he's the one that basically hit the iceberg, right? Or I should say, he's the one that hit the Titanic, right? And then it was Bob Arum. Once Top Rank left, oh man, that's when that ship started flooding real fast. When it started flooding real fast. Go ahead, Go.
But I was gonna add about Canelo. If he leaves HBO and then Triple G's age is catching up. I'm gonna really feel bad for Daniel Jacobs that actually has still a contract with HBO because his main objective was to go to HBO for what?
For the Golovkin fight.
And Triple G, Canelo and Triple G, right? Because they were HBO. And then for Canelo and let's say Triple G don't be in HBO no more, it's like, he's going to be empty-handed and he's going to be stuck with HBO with no big fights. Guaranteed. I mean, of course, if he buy out his contract, he's going to go with Eddie Hearns. But it's just like, it's unfortunate on Danny Jacobs' side because he's not even going to get the fight that he was looking for,
Yeah, no, you're right. And that's unfortunate. And we're going to take another call. And also there's the talks of Lara fighting against Castano. Here, let me.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. That's what people talking about right now. But here, let's go ahead and take another call. Once again, I may not be able to get to all the calls, but I'll try to take a couple more before we get up out of here. Okay.
No doubt.
We got 617. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, man? My name's Tom. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, man.
What's going on, Tom? Hey. Where you from, Tom?
What's up, man? Boston, man.
Boston. That's what's up, man. What's on your mind?
I'll be there October 20th to see BJ Saunders versus Andrade.
Okay.
I will see you there, brother.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll actually be at that fight, man.
Hopefully, I'll see you.
All right.
I gotta go with Andrade. I gotta go with the American fighter. So.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a breakthrough. That's gonna be a breakthrough performance, I believe, for Andrade moving up to the middleweight division. You're fighting against probably right now, and at least when it comes to the top two, the best middleweight, at least with a belt right now. So yeah, man, I see that as a really good fight. It'll be competitive.
Yeah, he's probably the slickest fighter to me in that division.
Yeah. He's definitely. I mean, because I think I would pick Saunders to even beat Canelo right now. And especially after Canelo said that he doesn't want to fight Saunders because he doesn't like his style. The translation is that's going to be a very difficult guy to beat. So.
Don't get me wrong. If Saunders wins, I do think that Canelo will gun for him in May.
That would be a big
that belt.
That would be a good look. I hope that happens. I mean, but once again, I believe Andre. I'm with you. I believe Andre. He gonna derail all of those plans. And then
I hope so.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you that I think Golovkin actually might face the winner before Canelo.
You think?
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
You think Golovkin might face the winner of Andre Saunders?
I think he'll go for it because he wants that belt. I think Golovkin wants a rematch with Canelo, and I'm pretty sure this is the quickest way to do it. Just grab that belt. He grabs that belt, and then Canelo will go for him again because he's already had, 2 fights with him. He doesn't care. He'll go another one.
Well, I believe Canelo, he would take the fight right now, no, because I believe, I talked to Abel Sanchez after the fight, and he was already saying that Eddie Gomez, the president or vice president of Golden Boy Promotions, he walked over to him and said, "Hey, man, we got to do the third one. We got to do the third one." And Abel said, "Yeah, I'm all aboard." So I truly believe that they already won it. And Canelo, his confidence has to be through the roof now. I mean, you walked down Goliath, basically. You walked him down, and I truly believe that Canelo has a chance of either knocking him out or beating him even more decisive in a rubber match. So, I see the fight happening now. Now, when it comes to Golovkin, let me say this real quick. When it comes to Golovkin, I'm just curious to know what's in Golovkin's head right now, because we really don't know. He was already talking about retiring before this Canelo rematch. So I don't really know what's going on in his head, but it's an uphill battle for Golovkin right now. He really has no type of easy roads right now to go through because,
I agree.
If he fights against Canelo, he could lose that, and that ruins his legacy even more. If he fights against Andre Saunders winner, he's the underdog as far as I'm concerned in that fight. So I don't really see any good options. If he fights a tomato can, that makes him look even worse because they're going to be like, well, you just lost to Canelo. Why are you fighting a tomato can now? That reinforces the stereotypes of him, or his reputation, I should say, of him fighting against soft touches. So, man, it's an uphill battle for Golovkin.
I'll say this about Golovkin, right? For his age, right? Being how old he is and the type of fighter he is, because he's not a Mayweather. He's not an all-around boxer. He's really, what he does well.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
He does well,
absolutely,
man.
Absolutely.
I've never seen nothing like it in a long time, man.
Well,
I haven't seen nothing like it. You got fucking.
Well, I've seen a lot of fighters like him, but once again, though, we have to remember, we can't really look too much at his age because Golovkin, he started his career late. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like Sergio Martinez. Sergio Martinez, he turned pro like around age 28 or 29, so you're going to be able to go longer than other fighters because you don't have the wear and tear. It's like if you got a brand new car and you let the car just sit in the garage for 5 or 10 years, of course it's going to have a lot less miles on it, when you're driving around, when you start driving. So,
yeah,
Golovkin,
I agree, but I'll say this about Golovkin, right? Golovkin, I saw the fight. I scored the fight 6-6. I gave the first round to Golovkin. I gave 2 through 7 to Canelo, and I gave 8 through 12 to Golovkin. That's how I scored it. It was a close fight. No one can deny it was a close fight. But again, I had the first fight, him clearly winning. A lot of people felt the same way. Whatever, it doesn't matter. My point is this: in that fight with Canelo, and I give Canelo a lot of credit. He fucking stunned him, man. He stunned him in the 10th round. And Golovkin, he just didn't have the power or the fortitude to finish him off. But he fucking stunned him, man.
Yeah.
He
stunned
him.
him.
You talk about with the overhand and then the uppercut, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he fucking stunned him. He didn't have it in him, man. He's too old. He didn't have him in him.
Well,
but can I say this about that fight?
But it's his confidence, too. I think his confidence. We see a different confidence when Golovkin is in there with a higher level of opposition. So I don't think it's his age. I mean, once again, remember, look how quick he finished Vanes Martirosyan. He didn't let Vanes Martirosyan off the hook. You put him back in the ring with Willie Monroe or somebody like that, we're going to be saying, wow, he done just took 10 years off of his career again, So, it's the confidence, But go ahead, Reggie.
Hey,
go ahead,
Deontay,
Reggie.
can I say this? And even in that matchup, anytime Golovkin had these moments in his fight, It was because Canelo allowed it. Either was it was allowed because Canelo needed to take breaks due to cardio issues.
True.
Or he was taking off the rounds. It was nothing Golovkin did. He was able to come back in that fight when Canelo took it off. When Canelo had it, Canelo controlled everything about that fight.
I'll tell you, I was stunned, man. That first half, I looked at Golovkin, and I was like, wow. I go, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this dude, for the first time, actually looks like old. And then I don't know. Then as soon as Abel told him, like, "Yo, man, you're fucking losing," and then he just kicked it up, and I was like, "Where was this the whole fight?"
He didn't kick it up. It was Canelo had to put something in the bank. Canelo had to reserve something. He put it in the bank. He gave him rounds that Triple G wasn't bringing nothing to hurt him. He can take some rounds off. Triple G, Canelo has his number.
Yeah, Canelo definitely.
Canelo I'll say this, right? If Canelo waits longer to fight Golovkin again, obviously the odds favor Canelo, for sure, man. The guy's getting older, for sure. If it was like next fight or some shit like that,
hey, you guys,
I don't know.
You guys, go ahead and keep talking for 2 minutes. I gotta set something up, but just talk for 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, brother, like I was hearing your conversation. Triple G did it to himself, you know, with him and Abel. I mean, mainly Abel talking about, oh, Canelo, you got to fight Gennady in the middle of the ring, toe-to-toe, Mexican style.
Yes.
So, like I told a lot of people, that the way that they were portraying Canelo of not fighting Mexican style, that impacted the scoring. If you think about it, they wouldn't say anything about that. I could tell you right now, I guarantee you the score would have been different. Triple G would have won, like in terms of scorecard.
Hey, man, I agree with you. I got no disagreements there, man.
You know,
no disagreements.
And what's the best thing that Triple G could do, right? Knock the guy out when somebody goes toe-to-toe. And then when you don't knock the guy out toe-to-toe, and everybody has seen you knock these guys out when you have them the way you want them, and you can't do it to a smaller guy, because Canelo looks so small that night compared to Triple G. I was like, oh, man, I think this was the first time I've seen Canelo as a smaller guy. You know?
Yeah, he did look a little smaller, that's true. And, he just looked smaller. But I'll tell you this, man. I do think if BJ Saunders, Demetrius Andrade winner faces Golovkin, if Golovkin wants to go that route, I think that would be a very interesting, like a toss-up fight. Like that would be a very tough fight. But I'll say this: if Golovkin were to lose that, I think his career is over. If he loses his next fight, in my opinion, his career is over. He might as well retire.
Whose career is over?
Golovkin. If Golovkin loses his next fight.
Oh, well, his career's on the downturn anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if he gets that belt, though, that's my whole point. You know, if he gets that belt,
but there's still a lot of young, hungry, powerful fighters. Even if he gets the belt, it's still bad for him.
So the roadmap I see for Golovkin, right, which he sometimes can spoil that. The roadmap I see for Golovkin is if he were to grab that belt and he were to face Canelo and beat Canelo, then he could do like the retirement bullshit and, you know, finish his career like, oh, look, I'll finish how the way Manuel and Pacquiao did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm,
that type of shit. But.
And I'm back, but once again, something else we have to realize is when it comes to Golovkin's age, even if we could use that as an excuse, that's unfortunate for Gennady Golovkin that coincidentally, soon as he started to face competition, he wasn't good enough to beat them because of his age. I mean, it's like, once again, you look at all the legends, you know, if Muhammad Ali was looking fantastic when he was fighting against tomato cans and, you know, journeymen, and soon as he reached the Sonny Listons, the George Foremans, that's when coincidentally he was old and he couldn't beat him. He would never be considered the greatest, quote unquote the greatest. And same thing.
I agree in some respects.
And
no one remember, man.
Hawkins' age when he lost fights. When Bernard Hopkins lost fights, no one brought the age. And he was
Golovkin was avoided though for a long time. I remember that. Long time.
But the thing is, he had Andre Ward. Andre Ward was his Sugar Ray Leonard. That was his Roberto Duran. That was the guy that was going to catapult him, and that was going to make people remember him. If Golovkin,
that's true.
Yeah, if Golovkin would have been.
That's true. If he moved up in weight, though, you know what I'm saying. I don't think he wanted to do that.
But he did want to do that because he wanted to fight Chavez and Carl Froch at the same weight class, and Carl Froch and Chavez was much bigger than Andre Ward. He walked around at like 190. So he had his chances. He had his chances for greatness.
You talking about Chavez Jr. though?
Yeah, my point was he did want to fight at 160. Oh yeah, no. Of course he would have beat him. I mean, I don't know. He would have been a favorite. I mean, it would have been interesting to see how he would have dealt with, being at a different weight class. But my point.
But you know Ward's a legend, man. Like Ward, Ward would school him. Ward's a true boxer. I think Ward would obviously win. Obviously, Ward isn't going to knock him out.
Ward would have stopped him. Ward would have stopped him, no doubt. We all agree. But my point is, he had an opportunity, to show that he was great, fighting someone like that, even though we know that he would have lost to him. But if that's the case, why don't everyone just come out and just be honest and just say that? No, Golovkin shouldn't have fought him because he would have lost. I mean, you're being honest. We're all being honest. Everyone should just be honest.
I'll be honest with you. My money would definitely be on Andre Ward.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but once again, I mean, at the end of the day, if Golovkin doesn't come back and beat Canelo decisively in a rematch, if he doesn't come back and fight a Danny Jacobs and beat him decisive in a rematch, he'll just be remembered. His greatest win will be against David Lemieux, and that's not a good look for his legacy. So, but
again, I do think he might face the winner of BJ Saunders versus Andre.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I'll tell you how I would like that.
Oh, it would be huge. It would be huge.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll tell you this about Andre. I've been talking to him lately. I've been texting him, and I told him, Andre, between us, like, I know you want the Canelo, man, but how badly you want it? He was like, he's like, once I get rid of this clown, he says, this fool, he wants Canelo. Like, I don't know what he's going to do. Like, Andre is so unpredictable and calling out fighters. Like, he really thinks, like, beating Canelo will be, like lifetime changer. Like, he really wants that fight. Like, I've never seen a fighter like Andre. Like, honestly, he has all the tools to beat Canelo. And that's just not me because he's my friend or anything, but Andre's he's a bad man, like Stephen A.
I want Andre to win, man. He's the American fighter. I want him to win.
Yeah,
I hope he does win.
We will see. Hey, man, but thanks for holding it down on the phone lines for me, man, and thanks for calling in. I'll see you guys.
Thanks, man.
All right, take care, man. All right, man.
Peace.
Yeah, that was good. That was good stuff. Once again, like I said, man, I just love the opportunity to talk about, the type of excuses that fans make for Gennady Golovkin and completely shutting those excuses down with facts. Because that's all we hitting them with is actual facts. Golovkin, he did this to himself. It's true. It's true that it's funny that the truth is coming out now, and it's like people kept saying Golovkin, he didn't have to fight Ward. He didn't have to fight Ward and whatever. He wanted to unify the belts. That's why he stayed at 160, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now I'm starting to hear more and more fans finally come out and be honest. Like, come on, man. We know he would have lost to Andre Ward. Of course he would have lost to Andre Ward. And once again, now that he has an opportunity, the one guy, like I heard you say, Gustavo, and this is what we've been talking about, the one guy that he was supposed to beat, that he'd been chasing for 2 years, Canelo Alvarez, he allows this smaller guy to walk him down and basically force him to change his whole Mexican style and allow the smaller guy to exhibit Mexican style. That's a bad look for him, man.
It was like seeing Triple G versus David Lemieux, just like Canelo, which is better.
Yeah, that's true. You're absolutely right. That's how he fought against David Lemieux. He just threw nothing but the jab, and he tried to win this fight with the jab, and it didn't pay off, man. So man,
like people even in my inbox, they're like, "Oh, Triple G won based on jabs." I'm like, boxing's not just based on jabs. You got to throw the power shots. You got to show your ring generalship. Your defensive side, your footwork. Like boxing is very versatile. It varies. Mm-hmm. So of course, I thought he won based on jabs. Like just if you tell me a game of jabs, of course I would say Triple G won based on jabs. But there's other factors in a boxing match, which I think Canelo, to me, won most of them.
But the crazy. But the crazy thing, Gustavo, is Canelo was jabbing. He was landing jabs too, especially in the first half.
Oh yeah, of course.
He was.
Not as much as Triple G.
Yeah.
But,
not as much as Triple G. But the difference is, while Triple G was landing a lot of jabs, you had Canelo landing a lot of body shots, jabs, hands, hooks. So you got one person, with just jabs, and you got another person with about 4 different weapons. And walking him down. And when they talk about Canelo being hurt, we have to remember Golovkin, he looked hurt a couple times in the fight. It was a couple
he
times.
was beating so hard, man.
Yeah. Them body shots was breaking him down. And if Canelo wasn't so small, Canelo probably would have stopped him. You know.
Oh yeah, Triple G looked like me running after a 10-minute run, man. He was beating so hard, man.
Yeah.
Did the pay-per-view numbers come out for this fight?
Yeah, it was.
They were saying that 1.1, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what they're projected at right now, 1.1. I heard.
Which is a little less.
A little less than the first fight.
1.3?
Yeah.
Right? 1.3, 1.4, yeah.
Yeah. I still think, those are pretty good numbers, but once again, I don't see, especially not Golovkin. Golovkin is not this global superstar that Jim Lampley said he was, because, Jim said he was a latter-day Muhammad Ali that was a global superstar. But we all know.
No.
Yeah. We all know that if Golovkin were to fight anyone else, his numbers would drop, big time.
It'd probably be like, 200, 250 at best, 300.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Canelo will stay consistent at that, 600, 700 range with no name?
Yeah, I think what was his numbers against Amir Khan?
He did like 650. Was like 650.
Yeah, for Canelo, that's not bad. For Canelo, that's not bad at all. Those are good numbers. But
those are really great numbers. Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and here. Let me see, man. Like I said, I hate to leave these cats on hold, but okay, I'll try to take one more call. 804. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Man, I'm Jamil Squire, man.
What's that?
I'm Jamil Squire, calling out the 804, man, Richmond, Virginia.
What's going on? What's good with you? What's good with you?
Man, I've been on the phone for about an hour. I didn't think the time needed to get through, man. I was about to hang up.
I hear you.
But first of all, I want to say shout out to you and all them bad biddies you be having on this thing, man. You a beast, boy. You be a styling. I say, my boy balling. Boy, he got Mayweather shouting you out. But look, I'm going to get to it real quick because I know you ready to roll. But I just want to say this. I'm Deontay Wilder to the bone. I'm Richmond, Virginia. NBA young boy just came down here. He had to punch his first fan. So, we trill out here. Look that up. But anyway, I just want to say this before I go back in the house, man. I'm Deontay Wilder to the bone. But I'm going to tell you, this is just me. After watching that, what he did to Povetkin, I look at it like this. The boy Joshua is a lucky boy, man. He a lucky guy. And I look at it like how when Wilder fought Ortiz, Wilder got a little test. So I'm going to go ahead and put Joshua in the category as Ortiz. Like, he got a little test with Joshua, man, because the boy Joshua is a skilled boxer, and I believe he got a mean uppercut on him, Dante. You gotta be that uppercut. Remember when Deontay knocked Ortiz out? You remember that uppercut? He caught him with in the cut?
Yeah.
They finished him. Finished him.
Yeah.
When they finished. Them uppercuts changed lives, man.
Oh, yeah.
And look at what he did. To Dylan White with that uppercut, man. Dylan White looked like he was on another planet when he hit him with the uppercut.
What Anthony Joshua did to Dylan White?
Yeah. With Anthony Joshua caught that uppercut. Deontay Wilder brought some out his bag for Ortiz with that uppercut, man. He caught him so smooth. And the way I see it, I'm supporting Joshua. I know you want people to call in. So I saw it when you wanted the Joshua haters to call in, right? And I said, Joshua supporters to call in. So I was thinking to myself, I ain't no Joshua supporter, but I do have
Respect.
some little perks about Joshua that I wanted to share because he got his confidence up, I think. You know what I'm saying? I listened to you. You felt like he was, a little deluded, like he was unsure when he was fighting, but he used his reach advantage. He used his reach against Povetkin, man.
Yeah, he started to land the jabs to the solar plexus and everything and kind of control range a little bit better, Yeah, there's but look, there's no doubt that he has some perks. There's no doubt that he has some great weapons. He's technically sound. He may be a little bit more technical than Wilder in some departments. But the question is, no matter what he's good at, uppercuts or whatever the case is, I just see him react in a complete different way than Wilder would react if Wilder got caught with Anthony Joshua's best shot. And I think that's the difference. We've seen how Wilder responded and reacted when he got hurt by Ortiz. And I think that if once Anthony gets hit with that right hand by Wilder's right hand, I just think it's a wrap. But everything you said, it makes sense, man. There's no doubt about it.
Listen, listen. This is what we do every day. Me and my brother, we work, we take care of home, then we get our brews, and we talk boxing. We should have a channel. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you this though. This is real. Listen to this now. Okay, now Wilder got caught with them Jones from Ortiz. He bounced back. You know what I'm saying? He handled his business. Now Joshua, we know he got a patty ass chin, so we know Wilder can take him down. But when I told you he's a lucky bastard, what I'm saying is this. What I get from it after watching with Povetkin never been stopped. And, Ortiz was never stopped either, so I'm not taking that from Wilder by far. I told you I'm Wilder to the bone. But what I'm saying is Joshua is a better finisher to me than Ortiz, because Joshua is just something about him when it comes to time to finish, man. And he could have finished Wilder. Ortiz could have finished Wilder, but there's something about his delivery that I think that Joshua got an edge with that delivery. And I'm gonna top it off with this. That's a heavy-handed boy, man. I think his power. I don't want Wilder to come in here sleeping on that boy, because I'm a little worried. I'm Wilder to the bone, but I feel like that boy he's a lucky bastard. And niggas be popping the shit out of his ass. And I want Wilder to go ahead and lay him, put him to sleep, man, because he's soft-chanted. But if he keep up his skill, man, it'd be a hell of a fight. Yeah. Deontay, it would be I think his lucky ass would be a hell of a fight.
It's gonna be a hell of a fight, no matter how it plays out, man. So I look forward to it. I hope it happens. Hey, man, but thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate you staying on hold too, man.
Yep,
all right, man.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, man.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Take care.
All right, Deontay, I'll holler at you later.
All right, take care, man. Take care. Yeah, man.
The thing about people point out the technical side of Joshua, but he's technically slow when it comes to defense. He's easy to be touched.
Yeah.
Even fighting these smaller 6'2" guys, he's very technically slow. So he's easy to touch, and that's a bad thing.
Yeah, like I said, he looked a lot more technical. He looked a lot more better when he was more confident, once again, before the Takam fight. But like I said, since the Takam fight, we haven't seen that confidence, man. We haven't seen the confidence. And if he's reserved against Joseph Parker and he don't look super sure of himself against Povetkin, can you imagine how hesitant and reluctant he's going to be in the ring with Deontay Wilder? Oh man. Yeah. I mean, the respect is going to be through the roof in that fight, man. Oh, yeah. Especially if he has to watch Wilder knock out Tyson Fury too. So yeah, man, it's a lot, man. It's a lot on the boy's mind. But anyway,
and people
go ahead, Reggie.
And people play Wilder for not being technical. Wilder has one of the most crisp jabs in the game.
Yeah.
When Wilder wants to get hung, he looks wild.
He almost
with the length of his arm is his inside punching. He's not wild. He's very sound at what he's throwing at people.
Yeah,
so he can get technical and he's gonna tear Joshua ass apart.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I don't see that fight going no more than 5 rounds, man. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there, man.
I remember this, Dante.
Oh yeah. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. I don't see
Dante,
it.
You're gonna be like me when I said Thurman beat Spence at one point.
Oh man, see, there you go. No, I wouldn't say nothing like that. You on your own on that one, Gustavo. You on your own. Well, I mean, but I'm telling you right now, bro. You can mark my words. He's going to knock out Anthony Joshua. I truly believe that if they ever fight. So yeah, okay. I truly believe that one right there, man. But anyway, y'all, let's go.
Get 2 more calls. 2 more.
Yeah, let's go ahead, man. Let me see, man. Should we go ahead and take another call? Y'all want to take another call, man? All right, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and take another call. Let me see here, man. Okay, let's see what we got. We got 931. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Dante? Hey, I am that boy Box. This is Rough House Boxing TV,
What's
and I
going
just
on?
want to send to Dante's Boxing Nation, man. Hey, been watching you for the longest, and I admire your grind. Your hustle is impeccable, and just want to send a big salute and say that we appreciate what you're doing, bro.
Good looking, man. I appreciate it 1,000, man. Good looking. Anything else?
Already.
Anything else on your
Yeah,
mind?
yeah. I wanted to say, man, I talking earlier about the A side B side thing with AJ and Wilder, and I hate that A side B side talk. But I wanted to say this: if AJ had fought Povetkin here in the States, whether it be at the Barclays Center, whether it was in Vegas or the Staples Center, wherever, man, I don't believe that fight would have sold out. But if
Of course.
let's say let's say Wilder would have fought Ortiz in Wembley, that's a sellout.
Yeah. Yeah,
Every
of course, of course. Uh-huh.
everybody and their mom is going to that fight over there, So and Hearn keep talking all this, AJ is this worldwide draw. AJ is a draw in the UK. That's a stomping ground. He's a big fish in a small pond. And yeah, I wanted to say that. And one other thing, in regards to Canelo and Golovkin, I blame Triple G's failure on unable Sanchez, because it seems like he didn't give him anything extra to put in his toolkit. Now I know it's hard for a zebra to change its stripes and it's hard for a leopard to change its spots, but Canelo came with a totally different game plan this second fight, and it showed. He took it to that boy, and Triple G didn't have any answers. All he had was a jab. No body work, none whatsoever.
So do you believe?
And Triple G played well off the back foot.
So do you believe Golovkin should fire Abel Sanchez?
Yes, with the quickness. So quick and so fast.
You know what? I'm gonna say this, man. I don't think it matters right now at this point who Golovkin is working with. I mean, we're gonna see the same type of Golovkin. And the funny thing, though, actually, is I don't know. Me personally, I don't know if we could blame Abel. I think we have to blame Golovkin, because Abel said he wanted Golovkin to fight aggressive. He said we can't force him to do what we want him to do. We can't force him to do something he doesn't want to do. That's what he said. So with him saying that, I think we got to blame this more on Gennady Golovkin. Golovkin, he doesn't have that intestinal fortitude that a lot of fighters have. I've been telling you guys since day one, the difference from a Golovkin. Golovkin was supposed to be this Terminator, this aggressive, quote-unquote Mexican-style fighter, but I've been telling you guys, every time he steps up in competition or he fights someone with power, all of a sudden he wants to be a boxer. Mike Tyson, he never changed his stripes. He was always Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? And you remember when he fought against Razor Ruddock, he said, man, he hits like an effing mule, but that didn't change Mike Tyson's style, and that's the difference from Gennady Golovkin. He gets in there because he doesn't have that type of confidence. He doesn't have that type of grit. And that's the difference from him and a Mike Tyson and even a Julio Cesar Chavez. It didn't matter how hard Chavez opponents hit. Chavez was still going to be Chavez. That's true. That's not Gennady Golovkin. It's not in him. So that's what it is, man. But thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you. All right, man.
Hey, real talk, man. Y'all be easy. Hey, shout out to Dr. Boxing Nation and the whole LDBC too.
Good
looking.
I'm out. Good looking, family. Good looking, man.
Good looking, man.
All right, man. Take care, man. All right. So so that's pretty much what that is. We'll go ahead and take this will be the last call, man. We'll take let me see. Take one more. We got 817. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, I'm from Earl Smith's backyard.
You from Texas? Texas always up in there heavy. What's good with you, man? What's your name, man?
Yeah. Randy.
Okay, Randy. What's up? What's on your mind?
And there's really three things I want to talk about. First of all, I think if Triple G trains with Sean Porter's dad, we would see a monster in there. Because when I watch Canelo, I seen a little spurt of Golovkin doing some lateral movement, and it was effective against Canelo.
Okay.
And I think Kenny Porter's like the king of like, you know, kind of using that to your advantage.
Yeah.
Using lateral movement and being up in your face.
Yeah, the ambush attack. You know, I call it, you know.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
Yeah, but I don't think it's all the trainer. I think it's up to Golovkin as well, having the willingness to learn something new and bring something out of you.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, in this fight, you would think that he didn't have to do anything new. You would think he should have went in there and did the same thing he's been doing for the majority of his fights. Come forward, be aggressive, you know, and try to walk down Canelo, because that's how Golovkin was successful in the first fight. He was successful by walking down Canelo with a great jab, a great educated jab. He was walking him down so he could. That's what Golovkin does. He sets everything up with a great jab, and then once he gets closer to you, then he'll go ahead and he'll let the bombs go. So I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, him working with like a Kenny Porter, I mean, that wouldn't hurt his game, you know. But I just truly believe he doesn't have the confidence. Even if the game plan is given to him, soon as he is dealt with, as soon as he is dealing with resistance, we're just gonna see him do the same thing. He's gonna start boxing, you know. So that's just what it is, man. But hey, man. But thanks for your call. All right, bro.
All
right. Take care, Randy. All right, man. So, yeah, man. All right, guys. Yeah, we gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. We're gonna wrap it up. I once again want to say thanks. My special guest panelist, my man Gustavo with AB Boxing News. Let them know about that raffle you got going on, AB, and anything else on your mind.
Yeah, anybody that's interested in win a autograph media credential from Canelo Alvarez, I got a raffle going on my YouTube page. All you got to do is like, comment, subscribe to my page, and, you know, of course, support my man Deontay's Boxing Nation, and also his cooking channel. Support, you know. Appreciate
Deontay's
it, man.
Cooking. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. We'll get you on again, man, on another one, man. And thanks to my man Reggie, always holding it down in the comment section, man. Oh, you know what? I ain't even got you as a moderator. I gotta make you a moderator, man. So.
Oh yeah, hook you up, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now, man. We gotta have you over there, man. You in charge of the decaf busters, you know what I mean? So yeah, man. But anyway, man. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. I'm leaving the country again this Sunday, next Sunday. But like I said, I'm bringing the studio equipment with me, man. We going back to Thailand. We going back to Thailand, y'all. We going back to Thailand. You know, I love Thailand, man. And I love Thailand, man. It's a damn shame, once again, when you go to another country and they treat you better than they treat you in your own country. Like I said, you ain't got to worry about the police shooting you. They don't see skin color over there. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about the George Zimmerman shooting your kids. You know, you ain't got to worry about none of that kind of stuff. Cost of living is great. You know, you treat it like the president. You know, so I love the country. I'm going to be traveling a lot. 2019, man, we going to Africa, we going to South Africa, we going to Egypt, we going to Japan. You know, Dante's Travel Nation. That's all going to be on Dante's Travel Nation. So those channels are going to be dropping for real. Dante's Cooking Nation, Dante's Travel Nation. We trying to travel and see the whole world, man, and let you guys know how it is, you know, and how we are treated out there. So
hey, well deserved, brother. Well deserved.
Hey, good looking out. Appreciate it, Goo. So once again, man, for the panel, Gustavo, check him out at AB Boxing News. Good looking out to my man Reggie hanging with us. You already know your boy, Dante's Boxing Nation. Hashtag new media, baby. Hashtag decaf busters. Hashtag DCN. DTN, DNN, man. Dante's Cooking Nation, Dante's Travel Nation, Dante's News Nation, y'all. We getting it in, y'all. We getting it in. And I'll be back next week. I'll catch up with y'all. Thanks for tuning in. And oh, wait a minute. Did I get everybody some extra cats on the super chat section? Always got to thank y'all, man, because y'all the only reason I could go ahead and extend these shows and keep it cracking. So hey, thanks. Let me go ahead and thank some of the other cats that joined that DBN super chat section. Shout out to my man Danny P. I appreciate it, family. Shout out to my man Hugh Cypher. He said, Dante, how do you think Alexander Usyk will hold up in the heavyweight division? That's a very good question, man. We'll talk more about it next week. Let me see what's going to happen with Tyson Fury and Wilder first. And we'll talk about that next week, man. Thanks for the donation. I appreciate y'all, man. See y'all next weekend. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's the nation. Yeah.